Hi everyone, it's Justine. Something happened this week and we need to talk about it on this channel because it's a perfect example of what is going on at the moment in the fashion industry, both the good and the bad. I'm talking about Boohoo and Patagonia, two brands that have very little in common, if anything at all, but they both made major announcements last week. And so in this video, I would like to take you through what these brands initially stand for, what they announced, why it's strategically super important, why it really matters, and third point, where the fashion industry goes from there. Let's start with defining these two brands. Boohoo belongs to the fast fashion club. When you Google it, you can tell that people are wondering whether it's ethical, and rightly so. Very cheap prices, clothes produced in countries where human rights and workers' safety are not respected. They launch collections all the time so that whatever you just bought from them 1 week later already feels out of trend, and so you'll buy more and more and more. Boohoo has a terrible track record in terms of social standards, environmental standards, in terms of the materials they used. The website Good On You has rated them as we avoid. Boohoo's environmental rating is not good enough. It does not use eco-friendly materials. There is no evidence it has taken meaningful action to reduce or eliminate hazardous chemicals. It measures and reports greenhouse gas emissions from its direct operation, but not its supply chain. There is no evidence it implements water reduction initiatives, etc. Its labor rating is very poor. Its animal rating is not good enough. In a nutshell, Boohoo is in the same category, club, as the likes of Primark or Shein. It is the worst of the fast fashion industry. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you have Patagonia, a brand which has a very good reputation thanks to a consistent track record of trying to improve the way they do things. For instance, they're a B Corp, meaning that they have very high social, environmental, and transparency standards, and they have been going in that direction for over 50 years. They consistently seek to make their production process less harmful for the planet. For instance, they foster mending your clothes instead of replacing them. They even make video tutorials to show you how to do it. On the Patagonia website, activism is one of the top navigation items. Whereas if you compare with the Boohoo website, sustainability is like a mini item hidden at the very bottom of the footer. Just from looking at the two brand websites, you can tell which one actually cares and which one is just blatantly faking it. Now, let's look into the strategic announcements made by these two brands in the past week. Boohoo did a press release announcing that they hired Kourtney Kardashian as their new sustainability ambassador. You heard that right. Then they debuted a sustainable collection last week at New York Fashion Week, and that's only a few weeks after an investigation against that company started in the UK, because apparently Boohoo is greenwashing, stating the obvious. When I read the news, I was like, where to even start with the critique? So I went and had a look at that Boohoo and Kourtney collection. First item, a blazer for $18 US. It doesn't get any cheaper than that. Who in the production process there isn't getting paid? I'm sure that Kourtney Kardashian is very well paid. So as always, the one who's not getting paid in the whole production process is the garment worker. These red high shine pants are made with polyester, coated with polyurethane for the look. That's why it looks glossy. Polyurethane cannot be washed or recycled, so it doesn't actually fit for ready to wear. But I bet they're going to promote it as vegan leather and therefore environmentally friendly. That's a classic in the Greenwashing 101 handbook, if such a book exists. There is this button on the website offering to lower the energy it needs to run. The only thing it does is you lose a bit of light on the photos. If you're watching this and you happen to be a UX designer, please let us know in the comments how much energy you think such a feature really saves in terms of energy compared to a full production line in Southeast Asia, plus the international shipping by boat that is necessary in the logistical process. You know, it's ridiculous. It's a joke. And then on the other hand, in the same week, you have Patagonia, a major apparel company, which communicated a decision no other apparel company of that size has ever done before. They created a structure in two parts. There is the Patagonia Purpose Trust, and the holdfast collective. So the trust makes the business decisions and ensures that the company remains true to its founding values, it's their purpose, and it's written in their status. So it's official. It's not an actual company anymore. It will never have shareholders, and no one will be able to pull out dividends for themselves. Then the collective is a non-profit, which receives all the excess profits generated by the business and spends it all on environmental protection and community projects of their choice. From now on, 98% of the business is owned by the collective. The remaining 2% are owned by the trust. But then who will make the business decisions? The trust, which gets 100% of the voting rights, so to speak, so it can actually decide things. It's an interesting setup. At least on paper, it shows that the company is really trying to do better and to go in the right direction, even after the founder and his family will have passed, in a less profit-oriented manner, I should say. It is possible because the founder never went public with the company. It is huge, but it is still privately owned, and so they can afford to make decisions that don't optimize profits and dividends for shareholders. It's a huge deal in the industry. It's making headlines at the moment because you have this non-profit, the collective, which now owns a business worth about $3 billion US, and they expect the trust each year to pay to the collective somewhere around $100 million US. Imagine how much you can change with that amount of money. Okay, now where do we go from there? The first learning from this analysis is obvious. You have one brand, which is Patagonia, and which cares. And then you have Boohoo, a brand that does not care but pretends to and hopes that you're going to believe it. So Boohoo said, we have a problem because we only attract teenagers and we are not credible in terms of sustainability. So, hey, let's hire Kourtney Kardashian, an icon of consumerism, who flies in private jets all the time. But hey, let's take her because first, she has a huge audience, and second, she's 40 plus. So it's great to attract the moms of our current teenager consumers. Great idea. Let's do that. And let's do a capsule collection, which we call sustainable. And then we can say that the entire company is now sustainable. Fabulous plan. Let's do it. Here's the thing. A brand cannot be sustainable if that principle is not at the core of everything it does. Boohoo cannot be sustainable. Never will. Because it's not compatible with the fast fashion business model that they were built on. On the other hand, when one large company like Patagonia decides to put their money for good and make sure that nobody else can use it any other way, they can make a massive positive change for the people, the animals, and the planet. So that's good news. Second learning. We urgently need to define what sustainability means. We need more transparency, we need labels, we need certifications, and we need that in all regions of the world, across countries. We need to define what ethical means, what slow fashion means, because right now all these terms are being used completely abusively for greenwashing. It's a catastrophe right now. It has never been that bad, and I feel it's an insult to consumers as well. On a positive note, if Boohoo and friends are finally realizing that they cannot not talk about sustainability and ethics anymore, it means that the awareness and the demand from customers for ethical behaviors is increasing. And that's great news in the grand scheme of things. It means that consumers care more and more, and brands cannot ignore it anymore. You have the power. You are the consumer with everything that you decide to purchase or not. You decide which companies are going to survive or not. If you watch this video until here, I recommend that you watch my video about greenwashing next, where I show you how brands use these cool sounding words like green, like ethical, to trick you, and you don't notice. Because sometimes they're very, very clever in the way they do greenwashing. So in that video, I take super concrete examples to show you how it's done so that you can recognize it in the future. This video is linked here in the corner and down below in the description as well. If you enjoyed this video right here, thumbs up. Thank you very much for your support, as always. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel before you go watch another video. Take care. Bye.